Geek Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Geek Talk, the dark side and the white side. My name is David Action Jackson. I'm here with...
Cajun Prime.
And today...
Shit.
Whatever. I mean, there's going to be 7 people listening to us anyway, so whatever.
Pretty much.
Today, we decided we were going to talk about Dragon Ball Z, and not GT, kind of Super, a little bit of Super. More so Resurrection F and Battle of Gods than really going into Super. But we decided what we were going to do was we were going to rank the strongest characters in Dragon Ball, because every list we've seen has been wrong and have had glaring omissions.
Absolutely hot garbage. I mean, we can't... Oh, man. Not going to name names. We came across one last night. They did a top 12, and 3 of the characters were essentially the same 4. They had Vegeta, Gogeta, Goku, and Vegito.
Right.
All on the same top 12 list. It's
and they had Vegeta at number 11.
11.
Vegeta was below Golden Frieza in their lineup. And for those of us that have watched the movie or are current with Dragon Ball Super, know Vegeta murked Gold Frieza. There was nothing.
He smacked him pretty hard.
He really did.
Unlike
Goku, Vegeta didn't hold back against Frieza, which is why Frieza tried to blow up the planet, because Vegeta was going to win. There was no advantage
embarrassing.
About it.
Yeah, that was not a good showing for Frieza.
Long story short, Cajun went over a bunch of different lists today and was reading them to me, and we're just like, these are wrong. I mean, it's opinion based, so there's really no wrong answer, I suppose you could say, but
yes,
they were wrong.
They were wrong. They were very wrong. I think we went through about 6 or 7 lists.
Yeah.
Only one of them mentioned PyCon, which we ended up.
We had to shift them around a couple of times.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little later. I mean,
I just want anybody that's listening to this realize this list took us 2 hours to compile, because we started out at top 10.
We realized we couldn't do it.
We went to top 12.
Couldn't do it then either.
We tried top 15.
There was just still too many people getting left out. So
we jumped the top 20. I mean, honestly, we just discussed after we finished the list, we could easily do a top 40 or top 50 of these characters. It's not that difficult. It's just a matter of perspective, where they are by the end of the series, where they are beginning into Dragon Ball Super, where they are during the Resurrection F and Battle of Gods, because we left out, that's the other thing too, we left out all the filler, we left out all of the movies, and we left out Dragon Ball GT. But Dragon Ball GT, because the power levels just got ridiculous in that. There was no... we understand the God forms and everything right now in Dragon Ball Super and Resurrection F and Battle of Gods. But, I mean, Super Saiyan 4 is just OP for no damn reason.
Yeah, and GT's not canon at this point. I mean, the creators have pretty much just wiped that under the rug and pretended it never happened, probably for very... for the better.
You all hate it just as much as we do. Let's not front. I mean, I own it because I'm OCD. I have all of Dragon Ball, all of Dragon Ball Z, and all of Dragon Ball GT. When Super starts coming out, I'll own all of that too.
And come on, nobody wanted to see Kid Goku again.
Right.
Let's just be honest about that.
We don't know why that was a thing. It happened. Nobody knows why it was a thing. And then to power up the Super Saiyan 4, he had to turn back into an adult, but then didn't stay as an adult.
So real quick, we're going to go over that first top 12 we came across. At the very bottom, at number 12, was Kid Buu.
Yeah.
Of all characters. It goes Kid Buu at 12, Vegeta at 11, Gotenks at 10, 9 was Ultimate Gohan.
Ultimate Gohan, yeah.
And then it got really dumb from there. 8 was Frieza.
Golden Frieza.
Golden Frieza. I mean, they
8.
did, specify Golden Frieza. Number 7 was Gogeta.
Uh-huh.
6 was Vegeta. I do believe 6 was Vegeta.
No, Vegeta was 11.
Vegeta was 11. That's right, we just said that.
6 was,
I don't even remember.
Janemba.
Super Buu. Oh, yeah, Janemba.
And
then Super Buu after him. And then it went Goku, Vegito, and then Beerus Whiz. Across all the lists we looked across, Beerus and Whiz were number 2 and number 1, respectively. That was the one that they all got right.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody that's a Dragon Ball fan can agree on that. Beerus and Whis are beasts, and there's no reason to change those characters. They are that strong.
They really are.
I mean, he's the god of destruction, and we don't know much about Whis right now. We know that Beerus is afraid of him.
Well, we saw him palm Beerus with one hand when he was bouncing between
Oh yeah,
comets or planets or whatever. He just kind of, gotcha.
right. And he stopped him, and like he's training. For those of you not up to speed in Dragon Ball Super, when that comes stateside, Whis is going to be training Goku and Vegeta. A little bit of a spoiler, not really, because like you see it in Resurrection F. He's the reason that they got as strong as they did in Resurrection F. They just retell Battle of Gods and Resurrection F as the first two arcs of Dragon Ball Super, so you know that by now. If not, honestly, you should watch those movies. Actually, you know what? If you haven't watched those movies and you're listening to this podcast, stop listening to this podcast and go watch Battle of Gods and then Resurrection F, and then realize that you should still be a Dragon Ball fan if you're not anymore.
I mean, you get to see Vegeta do the two-step in Battle of the Gods.
It was great.
It
was great.
So, without further ado, this is the dark side of the geek. Top 20 DBZ strongest fighters.
All right, folks. Number 20. And a lot of people are going to have a hard time wrapping their mind around our lists. We understand that. But a lot of you guys are going to agree with this. So, number 20, we're going with Tien Shinhan. Trained in the crane style of martial arts, the complete opposite of the Turtle Hermit. Started out as a bad guy. Ends up going to the good side. And ends up being able to hold his own against most of the Z fighters and the bad guys. He held back Imperfect Cell for quite a while, protecting the androids from being absorbed in the process. Android 17 or 18?
17 and 18. I think it was
no, because it was after he absorbed one of them. It was after he absorbed 17.
It would have just been 18.
He was protecting him from absorbing 18 because Krillin was supposed to be blowing her up. And, we know how that happened.
Yeah. At least she's 18.
Right.
I gotta throw that in there. I'm sorry.
Number 19.
Krillin. No, Roshi. We had Roshi.
Master Roshi was number 19.
Roshi below Krillin.
This is going back to Battle of Gods and Resurrection F.
If you have not seen Resurrection F, like you said, seriously, Roshi goes ham.
Right.
In a way that we have never seen. Think back to Dragon Ball Master Roshi.
Right.
And multiply that, but like a lot. I don't even have a number for it.
Right. Like Roshi he went max power right off the jump and like took out a bunch of Frieza's henchmen. And, like, one-handed Kamehameha waved a bunch of them. Like, I mean, it's Master Roshi. The guy is, like, 180 years old, and he murks a bunch of people that, like, Krillin, Tien, Gohan, and Piccolo had a hard time fighting. And he just takes them out because it's Master Roshi. He's the one that taught Goku and Krillin everything they know.
Including the Kamehameha wave.
Right. The founder of the Kamehameha wave, as a matter of fact. So. Number 18 was Krillin. That's where we brought him in.
Number 18 was Krillin. And we debated about Krillin for a little bit. Yeah. We know Krillin gets a hard rap. Honestly, you take out the Saiyans, you take out most of the aliens to come into the Dragon Ball Z story, and Krillin is probably the strongest fighter.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can go pound for pound, power for power, kai for kai, whatever you want to say. Krillin's the strongest human on the planet. There's just no doubt about it.
Yeah, he gets a bad rap, but I mean, like, yes, he gets knocked away by a lot of the aliens and everything, but he can take a hit from those aliens and walk away from it.
And he keeps coming back. Yeah. We don't understand. He's got heart.
It's that determination and that heart, like you said. Like, that's what keeps him coming back. And, like, a lot of them can say that. A lot of the characters can't say that same thing.
No, they can't. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we didn't even take this into account earlier. He's, of all the Z fighters, he's one of the few that rarely uses a sensu bean. The Saiyans usually get him first. He's popped a couple.
Once in a great while.
But mostly he just takes a beating and keeps going.
Yeah, he gets up or like ends up in the hospital.
So
bandage up and stuff, and then he heals and he goes on about his business. I mean, and the one thing that people fail to remember rather, is Krillin got his powers unlocked by the eldest Namek as well as Gohan.
Yes, he did.
And that gave him a big power boost, plus he kept training after that. Up to the end of Dragon Ball Z, Krillin was still fighting. Not counting that 7-year jump at the very end after the Buu Saga, but Krillin was there on the front lines the entire time.
Every fight. He's throwing himself in there.
Right. I mean, he was there to protect his friends and his family, and that's what he does, and that's an admirable quality, giving him the number 18 spot. Number 17 gives us
Goten. Now, we're gonna get flack for this.
We are gonna catch all kinds of hell for this.
I can't even. Wow.
We had a long discussion about Goten as well.
He almost didn't even make the list. We're not even gonna lie.
Goten is extremely powerful. Goten is very reminiscent of his father as a child. Therein lies the problem. He is a kid. Yes, he's a Super Saiyan, but he's still a child. He's still very undisciplined and hard-headed. He will jump in to save people. He's a good fighter because he was trained by his mother, but that's part of the problem. He was trained by Chi-Chi. He wasn't trained by Goku. He wasn't trained by Roshi. He wasn't trained by Piccolo. He was trained by Chi-Chi, who, yes, has the same training, similar training to her father, who Master Roshi trained, but like after a while...
That probably makes him the most purest martial artist out of all the Saiyans. Though.
Right, it does.
From a purely hand-to-hand combat point.
Right, I mean, he does have the strength of ki, but that's through genetics.
Yeah.
That is not like based on, oh, I've been training in, the time chamber and all. Oh, granted, he did train later. We'll get back to that. But as far as raw martial art talent, Goten. As far as like a Kamehameha wave being on par with even that of Master Roshi, probably not.
No, well, he's got a big head. He doesn't take himself seriously. He's aware that he's one of the youngest Saiyans, Super Saiyans of all time, and it just keeps him from peaking. Yeah. We understand his potential. Don't get us wrong. We're not saying
it's just that potential was never explored.
Not at all.
They never took him past Super Saiyan 1 in his singular form.
No.
Which again, that will be touched on later. Now, if you guys want to flag us for that or whatever, feel free. We will debate this until we're blue in the face.
You don't know where we live, so...
Right, you can't find me. Yeah. And if you can, come over, we'll debate this until we're blue in the face. And I'll Kamehameha wave you. Number 16 is the leader of Frieza's Special Forces, the Ginyu Squad, Captain Ginyu. Now...
We debated about him for a little bit. He slid down the list we went on. We had him higher at one point.
A lot of people aren't going to understand why Captain Ginyu is above Goten, Krillin, and Roshi and Tien. The reason he's that high is if you think back to the Namek Saga, he held his own against Goku. Yes, Goku was weakened, but in a pure fight, before actually using his special techniques, before using Ki Blast and all that, he held his own against Goku. Goku, I'd say, was about half power at that point, but he still went blow for blow with him. That's a big deal. He held his own against Vegeta. He fights these guys on the same level, and he can power up as an alien, which is not something we see too often, without changing forms. Yes, he has the body switching technique, and yes, we know the body switching technique is flawed, because if you don't have the same ideals and potential as the person whose body you switch into, you can't tap into their full power. But Ginyu, on his own right, is a great fighter.
It's the reason he's the captain of the Ginyu Force.
Right. I mean, because like we left out Burson. Burter and Jace.
We tried to. We were thinking about the others, and they just didn't quite make it.
Right.
I mean, we debated a couple of them at length, but specifically Burter and then Jace. But
we didn't bother with Goldo because nobody cares. He can freeze time. Woohoo!
But yeah, Captain Ginyu. That was number 16.
Number 16. Yeah, number 15 is a tie, but there's a reason for that. They're twins.
18 and 17. I mean, they're essentially the same.
Same power level. Same base power level. As far as we know. Mind you, we're not calculating numbers and all that stuff because they really dropped that after a while.
We do know they're over 9,000.
Oh, everybody's over 9,000.
Definitely over 9,000.
But they have unlimited energy because they're cyborgs. That's one thing that people get wrong about this, is they are not pure mechanical. They are biological and mechanical, making them cybernetic organisms, not pure androids. They did get that wrong in translation, but still, because of their robotic parts, they have unlimited energy. They never run out because their batteries constantly recharge. And they never get tired. Like, they sleep like the rest of us and everything and eat, but they don't get tired. They can fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and keep going. And 18 has shown that. 17 has shown that. 17 went toe-to-toe with a full-powered Piccolo.
Uh-huh.
He ended up getting his ass beat, but he went toe-to-toe with a full-powered Piccolo. 18 couldn't hold her own. She went head-up with Super Vegeta. With Vegeta being arrogant and cocky and just coming out of the hyperbolic time chamber, she took him out like it was nothing. Not many people could say that.
They fought most of the Z fighters in the Android saga.
Mm-hmm. Anybody that went up with them, they fought. I mean, like, we put 18 above Krillin for sure. They're married, and yes, she would rather stay home and protect their daughter, but that's because of her maternal instinct. Mm-hmm. She'll stay home and protect her daughter, send Krillin out on the front lines to get his ass beat, but that way she's there because she knows she's stronger than Krillin, and she can stay home. And
that's one thing we didn't take into account now that I think about it, because she's human now.
No, she's not human. She had the bomb removed.
She had the bomb removed.
She didn't have all of her power, all of her robotic parts.
That's another thing that must have got lost in translation, at least with me, because I was under the influence. They wished her human.
No, they wished her that they wished a bomb to be removed out of her body.
Okay, well, that was my fault. My bad, people.
If she were human, she wouldn't have the same power.
That's what I was just thinking. I was just like, wait a second.
She wouldn't be able to fly and all. At least I don't think. I mean, it depends. Like, one thing about Dragon Ball that we all have to remember is Toriyama forgets a lot of stuff.
Fair enough.
He very well could have had them wish her to be human. And, like, it got lost in translation. That's why, like, when they translated it, they changed it. Because they're like, this doesn't make any sense. Because we know later that she could still fight. And she could still hold her own. And it doesn't make any sense. Moving on.
Yeah.
From number 15. We're going to go to everybody's favorite Namek, Piccolo.
Who got a boost. We had him lower on the list at one point.
We did.
The more people we added to the list, we kept reminding ourselves of certain battles throughout the show. Like originally, we had Piccolo below Captain Ginyu.
Yeah.
We debated about it for a second, but he was below Captain Ginyu, and then we added another character later who we'll get to, and we're just like, wait, Piccolo beat him. And he can definitely beat Captain Ginyu, so we gotta flip them around. We didn't just sit down and go through this list and went, okay, this one.
No, like I said, all over 2 hours worth of deliberation was put into this list, and we easily could have kept going.
Anyway, yeah, so Piccolo could definitely dust everybody up to this point that we've mentioned.
Oh, easily, and we're talking Piccolo in the form we know him in Dragon Ball Z, not Piccolo. Not King Piccolo from Dragon Ball.
Right.
Not Ma Jr., not Little Piccolo from Dragon Ball. We're talking full power, fused with Kami, fused with Nail Piccolo.
One thing we didn't mention is all these characters that we're mentioning, we're taking them from their strongest point in the show period. Not necessarily...
Up to Dragon Ball Z, into a little bit of Super.
Yeah. At whatever point was their strongest iteration of their character, that's what we're thinking of.
Yeah.
Which is why Gotenks is so low on the list. Not Gotenks, Goten. Gotenks is a little low for some of you, but we'll get to that hate later. Piccolo stood. He fought some of the Ginyu Force.
Oh yeah, no, did he?
I thought he did.
No, he came in. He fought Frieza right away.
He fought Frieza right away.
Yeah, he came in. He fought Frieza.
Sorry, they're all the same.
And this was after Vegeta had gotten beat by Frieza.
Yeah,
this is after Krillin and Gohan had gotten beat by Frieza.
That Namek saga was a little convoluted with all their battles. Everybody fought, and of course that was the longest punch ever thrown.
Right.
And then that Namek saga was terrible. Right. I remember watching that as a kid. I'm like, is the fight gonna happen?
Oh man, when Goku and Frieza finally fought, and Goku was a Super Saiyan, and it was supposed to take 5 minutes for Namek to blow up, and it took 2 weeks worth of episodes. I was like, terrible. It was supposed to be 5 minutes. It's the longest 5 minutes ever.
So you have to forgive some of my old age. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've watched a lot of these.
Yeah, the show is old, and so are we. Moving on.
Who else? No, Piccolo again. Piccolo stood toe to toe with Cell for a little bit.
Oh yeah. He fought Monster Cell. He was the first one to fight him.
Imperfect Cell, Monster Cell.
And he went head up with him for a little while, especially because Cell didn't recognize him because it was after he fused with Kami.
And Cell was ignorant of Piccolo's regenerative abilities, so that played a part. But still, Piccolo, he gave it to him. Honestly, I think maybe Piccolo probably could have taken out an Imperfect Cell that hadn't absorbed any android yet.
Yeah,
I think he maybe could have.
Yeah, had he not? I can't remember. He got distracted or something, and Cell absorbed his arm. Mm-hmm. Had that not have happened, had Piccolo been able to gain the upper hand, Piccolo would have destroyed Cell easily. And at that form.
Furthermore, I think had Cell not absorbed his ability to regenerate, some of the other characters wouldn't have had such a hard time with him.
Right.
But neither here nor there at this point.
Right.
So
moving on to number 13, we've got Fat Majin Buu.
Candy.
Yeah. A lot of people are going to disagree with this. The biggest thing we need to remember about Majin Buu, Fat Buu, was he's got the mentality of a child. The reason that he was so destructive was because he's a kid.
Yeah.
Like he's a kid on a rampage. And now my daughter's calling me in the middle of me recording after I told her not to. But
I keep going. So he's throwing a temper tantrum. He's probably hungry. things of that nature. I'll do my best to keep this going while he's away for a second. Fat Boo, you also have to remember Fat Boo beat the hell out of pretty much most of the Z fighters, one after another. You've got them all training, doing their own various trainings, one after another. Oh, that doesn't sound good. She's gonna be okay. She's okay, people. We're good. Again, Fat Boo. Again, he's turning people into candy. He ate and absorbed a couple of the different Z fighters. He ate Gohan. He absorbed, I think, Krillin at one point. Pretty much beat the hell out of every Z fighter that was alive at the time, one by one.
And the reason he's relatively low on the list, the one thing we have to remember about Fat Boo is he could have been dusted by Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Could have.
But Goku decided that he'd rather be a bad father than save the universe.
Worst father ever.
And he wanted the kids to have their chance at saving the world since he's done it so often. He could have beat him, and he says that he could have beat him.
Could have saved us a whole lot of trouble.
Right. That could
even especially with this list.
Right. All right. I'm sure Cajun covered most of what we needed to talk about for Fat Boo. So number 12, we're moving into Cell. Again, this is ranked by their final forms.
So this is perfect Cell.
This is super perfect.
Absolutely
Cell. This is after he died and then came back.
Yes, after he learned instant transmission from Goku and put himself back together after the Spirit Bomb, and this is this is the Cell that Gohan had to
right.
So,
and this is why we put him above Fat Boo. Again, Fat Boo is a child throwing a temper tantrum, not getting his way.
Cell is Armageddon.
Cell is just that guy that's like, I don't want you to be here. I'm going to destroy you.
And so, again, his name. He regenerates from a single cell.
From a single cell.
You absolutely have to dematerialize him, or the fight just doesn't end. He's got unlimited energy for the most part.
Right. I mean he's an android, and his cores are made of the androids. So
he's got all the powers of the Z fighters he's fought and absorbed. He's got Frieza's powers. He's got Piccolo's powers. He's got Goku's powers.
He's the amalgam of all of the fighters. And like for him to be that tough, if Cell would have survived the fight with Gohan somehow, say this is all hypothetical, but if Cell had survived the fight with Gohan and would have been able to gain the powers or continue training as Frieza did for his golden form, or as evolved or ran into Majin Buu and absorbed a piece of Majin Buu, Cell would have been an unstoppable force.
Silver lining, we'd have been spared the Great Saiyaman saga.
Yeah, touche. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a Power Rangers fan and a Super Sentai fan,
I was embarrassed for. It's not that I didn't like. Let me be wrong. I'm not gonna say I did not like the Great Saiyaman saga. It was just, I'm the type of person I empathize with whatever I'm watching or reading.
Yeah,
I was embarrassed for Gohan. I really was. I felt so bad for him.
Especially because he thought he was so cool.
I don't know what Bulma was thinking when she made that outfit.
Bulma was thinking he wasn't gonna take it seriously. Is what she was thinking.
Birth control outfit. That's what that was.
That's somehow it didn't stop Pan. Moving on from Cell, we have a guy on the list that has been left out of most of the other lists that Cajun and I really, really like as a character from the Otherworld tournament. Guy that got left out a lot. He went blow for blow with a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He went blow for blow with a Kaioken Super Saiyan Goku, which is also left out a lot. People forget about that. But Goku used Kaioken while Super Saiyan in Otherworld to fight this character. This character's name is Pikkon.
And luckily for him, he got a boost. I think we had him at 16 originally.
We did.
Just above Captain Ginyu.
We had to keep talking about it because, like, we forget Pikkon is like Piccolo. He wears weighted clothing. So when he's wearing his full outfit, if he's fighting you and he's taking you out with his clothes on, with his full outfit on, like the sash and the hat and the whole nine, then you're not that tough.
He's probably, out of all the characters on this list, the fastest in terms of pure speed. Because remember, when he took his weights off, he had his weights on and was still moving step for step with Goku.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so, he took his weights off, and Goku's like, oh, you were holding back. And it was just an entirely different character.
A whole new ball game.
You couldn't see him. Not that you can see. I mean, they're telling, shoot. We get
right.
it. But bear in mind, when they were fighting, the only person in the entire tournament who could keep up with them was the Grand Kai.
Yep.
No one else could see what was going on. Everybody was just kind of down there like, what?
I mean, this is the Kais of the four corners of the universe not being able to keep up with them.
Yeah, so...
this was the Supreme Kai not being able to keep up with them. But, actually, no, the Supreme Kai wasn't there yet. This was all of them and all of their fighters not being able to keep up with them. But the Grand Kai, the old man, was the only one that could watch them.
And keep in mind, at the end of this tournament, the Grand Kai kind of procrastinated and said he needed to get back in shape if he was going to train with either of them. So, yeah. Going back to how Pikkon moved up the list, when we got to talking about Cell and Frieza later on, we'll talk about Frieza, we had to remind ourselves he dusted Cell and Frieza when they went to Otherworld.
Yeah, they showed up in Hell and were wrecking havoc, and they sent Pikkon down to deal with it.
He basically one-shotted him. Yeah. It was embarrassing. We were like, wait, we can't have Pikkon at number 16.
Yeah, he can't be below Cell because...
He can't be below Cell. There's no way.
Took Cell out. I mean, and even in death for them, they had their bodies still. They retained their bodies because it was before they were actually sent to the full version of Hell. They went down there to take over themselves, and he took them out.
So
which
this
means
was...
they were at full power at that
fully
point
powered,
in time. Full power Cell.
Frieza Saga Frieza.
And 100% power Frieza,
Yeah, and he just, Yeah.
Real easy fight for him. And that's a big deal.
Very big deal.
Because, like, at that point, up to that point, Goku hadn't done that yet. I mean,
Not
Goku
really
actually
big.
didn't beat Cell himself.
Actually, Goku had a reactionary moment to hearing Pikkon took them out, too.
Yeah. Well, he was there. He saw it.
Yeah, but there was the on-screen reaction.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like, whoa, took me forever to do that.
Who's this guy?
So
when can I fight this cat?
That was number 11, right?
Moving on from number 11,
we're breaking into the top 10 here.
Starting the top 10, we have our only fusion on the list. No, not our only fusion.
No, that's
not
right.
our only fusion.
But
this is our only fusion,
obvious
dance fusion.
Yeah.
We're going with Gotenks at number 10. A lot of people are going to wonder why Gotenks is on here when Goten is already on the list.
We can't just count any Super Saiyan 3 character.
Right.
I mean, we wanted to,
but
we can't.
That they learned Super Saiyan 3 by watching Goku do it one time.
Yeah, they're not even 10 years old yet.
Right. And I mean, their power. The biggest problem with Gotenks was the fact that he's a kid.
Arrogant. We got a couple of those here.
Arrogant child. I mean, he's got the blood of Vegeta and Goku in him, so it's all the pride and the I want to fight him. I want to fight him. I want to fight him going through him, as opposed to the can I take this guy out? Can I fight him? Do I have the ability to fight him? It was automatically I'm a kid. I'm stronger than you. Let's do this.
Leroy.
Essentially, yes. Essentially,
bonus points to anybody who picked up on that.
Gotenks would indeed be the Leroy Jenkins of Dragon Ball Z, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Rushing in head first.
Absolutely.
Super Ghost Kamikaze Attack. And we talk about how corny that move was, but awesome at the same time.
It was both fun and embarrassing to watch.
Yeah.
It's the second time I've used the word embarrassing in this list, but there's just so much here.
It really was, though. Like, it's like, what? Only a kid could come up with a move like that.
Well, we got somebody turning people into candy a few spots back. So
right, touche.
Why not spit ghosts?
And then, Gotenks is a great character. The problem is that time limit, that half-hour limit to the fusion.
Yeah.
And
they never make the most of it.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They spend most of the time showboating. If they were to fight seriously, like if we had gotten to see an older Goten and Trunks fuse, and they got to fight seriously, we'd have a better fighter.
We'll probably see that at some point. There'll be a spinoff.
Something will happen. Well, and one of the fillers, which again we left out of this, one of the fillers where Vegeta's brother shows up, they do fight some of the guys kind of seriously because like everybody lets them do it because they're like, you guys can take them out, go ahead.
And in one of the Broly films, they fought them.
Yeah,
but again, we left all that out. So
yeah. Moving on from number 10 to number 9, we've got our boy John's favorite character, Future Trunks.
Now, we stress Future Trunks because, again, this is the strongest iteration of the character throughout the show.
Yeah, we've seen it in the show. Right?
So we're not talking about the Trunks that fuses in the Gotenks. We're not talking about even the quote unquote future Trunks. You know, when Gohan dies and all the Z fighters are dead. We're talking about the Trunks that comes back in time. He has a sword. He, you know, slashes up King Cold and Frieza goes, and then proceeds to hit Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah,
rather
by
quickly.
the end of his run. When you see him go back to, this is the Trunks that went back to his home world, his home future, and murked the androids that he was afraid of, that had destroyed civilization, that had taken everything out. He fought them and beat them in like what, 3 or 4 moves, and then went and found Cell.
It didn't even take an episode. Yeah, it didn't even take an episode, and that's a pretty big deal with DBZ.
Right, it was the end of an episode actually.
Yeah, they were like
everything else had been resolved, and then we saw Trunks get to fight everybody in the future.
They gave him like, you know, a 3-minute window of wrapping that all up.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that heat dome finish he used on Cell, like, and for the fact that he knew who Cell was, and Cell was like, "What? How do you know me?" And then he blew him up. And Future Trunks is one of those characters that's great. I mean, he's loved by everybody, and that's shown in the fact that they brought him back in Dragon Ball Super. The current arc is a Future Trunks arc. I will not spoil anything for anybody that hasn't watched it.
Like me.
There's only 2 or 3 episodes in now with Future Trunks and Dragon Ball Super, but you guys are all going to be happy that they brought this character back. I cannot wait for the dub to hit stateside and the DVDs and stuff to start coming out, because these are just such a great story. They did a really good job. And I mean, it's Trunks. He's back. He's got the sword. He's badass again. Like, it's not Kid Trunks. Don't get me wrong. We like Kid Trunks. We're not hating on Kid Trunks. This is just his most powerful version that we wanted to put on the list.
So we're not going to have a Kid Trunks later on. Just so you know, this is the only Trunks on the list. We're not going to see another Goten. You know, that was our problem with that list of 12 we mentioned earlier. Yeah. We had 2 different Vegetas and Goku. We don't need that. This top 20 is completely unique. Every character from the top down.
Singular characters.
So that was number 9.
Number 8 is our second fusion, the only Potara fusion on this list.
And it's a non-Saiyan fusion. We'll give you guys like 5 seconds to try to guess. 4.
You figured it out yet?
3.
You don't know, do you?
2.
You ain't got no clue.
1.
Kibito Kai.
Kibito Kai. Almost didn't make the list. Took us a second to remember.
We forgot about him, honestly.
Yeah, we did.
He's such a back end character.
A support character.
You forget about, but then you realize that Kibito stood toe to toe with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Shin stood toe to toe with Piccolo. Piccolo backed down from Shin when he saw
the tournament. Yeah, Piccolo, who was number, what was he, 16?
Yeah.
14. 14. That's right. He got a bump. Yeah. So, you know, when you got Piccolo quaking in his boots and forfeiting a tournament match.
Right. And mind you, the Kai wanted him to fight him. He was okay with it. But Piccolo's like, nope. See ya.
He's like, I'm good. I want none of this fuckery. Oh, right. Oh man, can I say that?
Oh, whatever.
All right, we're good.
Kids, like, I don't care. Like, if your kids are listening to our show, censor it for them. We're not gonna. But easily, like, Kibito Kai is up there. Like, I mean, teleporting, his instant transmission lets him travel even further without seeing a place. As long as he knows it's there, he can get there. He doesn't have to hone in on a key signature to find it. He just needs to think about it, and he can go there. Again, the combined powers of Kibito and
the Supreme Kai.
The Supreme Kai.
I mean, that's what he was.
I mean, that's a big deal. And, I mean, helped to train Gohan.
Took Gohan to ascended level, essentially.
Helped to do it. It was old man Supreme Kai that took him there, but he helped him.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that you don't see. Like, it's these 2 guys, like, fused, and the first Potara fusion that you ever see in the series.
The first fusion. Isn't it?
No. We saw Gotenks first.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. We see Gotenks first, because they talk about another form of fusion, and Goku's like, oh yeah, we know fusion. No. He's like, no, this is permanent.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, I remember now.
Because then he gives Goku the earrings, because Goku is supposed to fuse with Gohan. And Gohan misses a ball with it. We'll talk about that in another podcast.
Yeah, we'll go there.
We'll do a review of the series later. Moving on from Kibito Kai to number 7 on this list. Now, mind you, again, we're talking full power that we've seen up to Dragon Ball Super. This character started out lower on the list. We bumped him up.
A lot.
He's a tyrant. He's evil. We rank him as stronger than Cell and Kid Buu. Not Kid Buu.
No, Fat Boo.
Fat Buu. We're gonna go with Frieza at number 7.
Almost didn't make the top 10.
Almost did not break the top 10.
But
we're talking Golden Frieza. Yeah. Pycon, yes, we said Pycon murked Frieza and Cell, but Pycon has not fought Golden Frieza.
Golden Frieza would dust Pycon, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I love Pycon, I do.
In order for them to take out Gold Frieza, spoiler alert yet again for those of you who haven't watched Resurrection F, Goku and Vegeta had to go Super Saiyan Blue, which is a Super Saiyan God ascended beyond Super Saiyan God. I mean, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
We've seen Super Saiyan God, and Super Saiyan God Goku had a hard time keeping up with Beerus. But he did go toe to toe with him, with his God Ki, he was up there. He was awesome. He was great. He had to go further than that to even stand a chance against Golden Frieza.
Again, Resurrection of F. It's a great film. You know what I just realized? We totally originally said we were leaving out all the movies.
Well, that's why I said this goes with Dragon Ball Super as well.
Yeah, okay.
Because Dragon Ball Super retells.
Yeah, it does retell.
Dragon Ball Super retells.
You got to watch Resurrection
Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. And Battle of Gods and Resurrection F are actually canon, whereas the rest of the movies are not.
Fair enough. Yeah, Frieza, he ascends his power beyond a ridiculous, stupid level.
He states in Dragon Ball Super and in Dragon Ball Resurrection F that he never trained a day in his life. You've seen what that got him. That got him to full power, 100% form Frieza on the Namek Saga and the Frieza Saga. That had him going up toe to toe with the Super Saiyan and like beating the crap out of him for a while. That's without training. He states that if he trained every day for a month straight, imagine what he could do. So, taking that in mind, if he had kept training instead of being impulsive and showing up,
spoiler alert,
he would have surpassed Golden Frieza.
Definitely.
Truthfully, I don't like the idea of the Gold Frieza transformation. Again, as far as this list goes, we left the movies and stuff out. We will review the series later, but like they kind of negate themselves considering the fact that Cooler had a transformation that was past Transformation 4, and it wasn't a color change.
Well, the color change, I mean, you know this. Most people don't. It's just a Japanese culture. The color gold to them just means
that's
supreme.
Ultimate for everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that's all it means. It's not that everything in Dragon Ball Z has to be gold. It's really just their culture.
Yeah, I mean, if you go watch just about any giant robot anime that has a hyper mode or a super mode for the robot, it's gold.
It's gold. It's yellow. So when we say golden, it's not that they were trying to make them rival the Super Saiyan or anything like that.
It's just like gold is their penultimate color.
Yeah,
that means that's their ultimate form.
And he did retain some purple, so it kind of he
did, but I would have preferred to see like him go to that cooler form and then ascend above that.
I would have liked to seen. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. A black Frieza. I don't mean that racially, but let's just think. We don't have just the color scheme in general. Even if he was gray and they called him black, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of gold. I'm sorry. I'm glad that the Super Saiyan God ended up being blue instead of golder.
Golder.
Right.
Another form. 9 feet long hair.
Right.
Bushy eyebrows, like long goatee, and it's all gold.
I mean, we've got the Gold Muzaru Monkey. We've got the Super Saiyan. We've got Gold Frieza. Broly, who is not on this list because, again, we left out the movies. Yeah. Who's just gold all over. Gold necklace, power dampener.
Well, they incorporated a green into his ki, though.
They did.
And they kind of gave his hair a green tinge when he was at full power.
Yeah.
But this is also legendary Super Saiyan form, too, as opposed to regular Super Saiyan. Yeah. Legendary Super Saiyan is on par with Super Saiyan 2 or 3, in my opinion, based on what we've seen of it. Moving on from Frieza. This one is a big deal. A lot of people may not agree with this. A lot of people are going to think we kind of dropped the ball. I don't think we did. There's another thing there's a little bit of speculation involved in this post.
A little bit.
But, I mean, it makes sense. Number 6 is Ultimate Gohan. We just put down Gohan because, again, this is Gohan from point A to point B at the end. But this is Ultimate Gohan at full power during the Buu saga.
Yes, he's ahead of Golden Frieza.
Yeah.
We will explain.
Yeah. Now, mind you, the entire point of Ultimate or Mystic Gohan is he was the power of a Super Saiyan 3 without needing the strain of the transformation. We understand that Gold Frieza is stronger than a Super Saiyan 3. We get that. But if you think about it, if Gohan is at that power level without the strain of the transformation, what happens when he does transform?
See, people keep forgetting that the Super Saiyan transformation, it's not static. It takes them from whatever power level they are at in that particular moment and multiplies that power.
Right.
To whatever infinite level, they want to go with. This has been explained multiple times.
Several times.
In the manga, in the shows. The Super Saiyan transformations aren't just like, I'm level 10,000, I'm level 1 million, I'm level... And we're not even going with the numbers anyway. But this is just to point out they're not static transformations.
Right.
Goku Super Saiyan 2 in the Buu saga is not the same as Goku Super Saiyan 2 toward the end of the Cell saga.
Not at all.
It's not
Not at all.
So,
not at all, because again, they continue training. And they train in their base form, and then they power up. And when they power up, their power up is higher, it's exponential power over their base power. So Gohan Super Saiyan 2 is not the same. Gohan Super Saiyan 2, the first time we see it in Cell, is actually stronger than Gohan Super Saiyan 2 when we see him do it in the World Tournament saga. Mm-hmm. Because at that point, he was slightly weaker because he didn't stop training, but he slacked off because he was going to school, because he was obeying his mother, and he was being a good big brother to Goten and all that. But he was still strong. He was still one of the strong. Actually, at this point, he was the strongest person on the planet because he was still stronger than Vegeta at that point. Until we see that Vegeta had ascended as well. So if Gohan, in mystic form, were to go to Super Saiyan, it is going to strain his body, but it is also going to push his power minimum tenfold.
Yeah, the only reason he's not any higher on this list is because he has yet to ascend to Super Saiyan Blue. He hasn't done it.
Right.
Yet.
The show is still going on.
Still going on. Theoretically, he could probably be stronger than Goku or Vegeta.
Right. I mean, that could all come up later, but we don't know for sure it is. We don't know it's not going to. We don't know.
I kind of hope so. I like Gohan.
Gohan's a great character.
I do.
Gohan's a character that I kind of think gets slept on because of the fact that they made him like stand back and go, "Oh, you know what? I'm not really gonna do that right now." Which you see actually in Resurrection F and
actually, we don't think he fell off as much as people say he fell off.
Right.
Because he'll still spank most of these characters pretty easily. I mean, with the exception of maybe Frieza at this point, current Frieza. Right. I think everybody else on this list, Gohan, absolutely spanks.
When Gohan goes serious,
and
is fighting for the protection of his friends and family,
there's not another character before Frieza that touches Gohan.
Right, easily. Moving on from number 6. A lot of people are going to be confused by this.
Top 5. Yeah.
We are into the top 5. A lot of people are going to be confused by this next one because this is a character that may have been mentioned already on the list, kind of, sort of, possibly.
A little bit.
Not really.
No.
A lot of people get this wrong too. Number 5 is Kid Buu. Yes, Kid Buu.
No candy.
Not Fat Buu. Fat Buu and Kid Buu are two different characters, which has been shown.
We actually debated this because I started to say no, it's still Buu,
But Kid Buu and Fat Buu both exist at the same time in the same space, and Fat Buu actually fought Kid Buu. Kid Buu is pure unbridled evil and
intelligent.
And intelligent.
And he's cunning. He probably is as far as cunning goes, he's probably on the level of a Frieza.
Yeah,
I mean,
easily.
He knows what he wants to do. He's going to do it. There's no random... He's not throwing a tantrum. He's not hungry. He doesn't give a about candy.
Right. He just he's going to fight, and he's going to take you all out because you're in his way. And, I mean, he does so a lot.
He takes out Gohan.
Easily.
He absorbs Gohan.
Easily. Well, you're thinking Super Buu.
Super Buu. Well, that's how it gets to be Kid Buu.
They take everybody out of him and make him Super Buu. They take out that good part. They make him Kid Buu because they take Fat Buu out of him. Mm-hmm. But he he beat the crap out of everybody. Out of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, out of Vegeta, and nobody stood a chance against him. Like,
effortlessly. I mean, there was no.
Yeah, like he had time to dance in the middle of the fight because he knew he was winning. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Kid Buu is stronger than everybody else we've named so far.
Probably the strongest villain to date.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to take out Golden Frieza. He's going to take out Perfect Cell.
Yeah, Golden Frieza's arrogant. Frieza's arrogant. Golden Frieza's arrogant. If Kid Buu and Golden Frieza were to fight, Kid Buu's going to get the edge because he's going to realize how to beat him. He's going to take advantage of that arrogance. He's going to take advantage of the fact that Frieza will stop to monologue and go, "You'll never stop my power," and then he'll punch him in the face or in the mouth, you know. It's easily Kid Buu. I mean, he's just, like I said, it's evil. It's evil incarnate with a brain. He's not just pure evil, like running around like, blow, 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 blowing stuff up. Like, he's
calculated.
Like, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. He knows how to attack. He knows how to finish you off. And, I mean, that's...
He analyzes your movement, your fight pattern, your everything. He's technical. He's powerful. He probably the purest fighting machine of any character on the list because he's the total package.
He made Vegeta beg everybody on the Earth to give Goku their power. He made the proudest character in the entire series beg everyone to help him. Vegeta doesn't do that.
Vegeta doesn't beg. Vegeta doesn't ask for help. Vegeta doesn't admit defeat.
It's Vegeta. In the Frieza saga, Vegeta cried and told Goku to please, avenge their race. But that's because he realized that he couldn't. But with the Buu saga, he begged. He said, "What is wrong with you people? This guy is going to kill us all. If he beats us, he's coming after all of you next." And,
And this is the Prince of all Saiyans.
Right.
So, I mean...
Think Macho Man Randy Savage. Speaking of Vegeta, he comes in at number 4.
Number 4, cracking the, top 4. I was going to say top 5. We just didn't...
Yes, we put Vegeta at number 4. Yes, he's above everybody else on the list we've spoken about so far, and that is because of the fact that, because of his pride, Vegeta ain't going to make the same mistake twice.
No. And he keeps going. He is absolutely obsessed with staying on par with Goku. It is a life goal. It is just obsession. That's the only word you can really call it. If he falls behind Kakarot, he loses his will to live. I am convinced. He will not let that happen again. Kakarot finds a new form. Vegeta finds a way to get there in his own way, mind you.
Right.
He never trains the way Goku does. He doesn't.
He's the first one to go Super Saiyan without having to be in a fight to do it. The Super Saiyan transformation actually, we don't know about Goten and Trunks. We don't know about their transformations. Their transformations were natural. Vegeta's transformation was because he was angry at himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because his pride got the best of him, and he realized that he was never going to catch Goku. He was never going to be as strong as Kakarot, and that made him mad. That pushed him over that edge that he needed, that gave him that little bit of a push, and he went Super Saiyan. The problem is, with that transformation came more arrogance.
A lot more. I mean, Vegeta probably never actually catches Goku in power level until post the Buu saga.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, he had to accept Babidi's help to match Goku.
Right. He did in Resurrection F and Battle of Gods and Dragon Ball Super. Goku and Vegeta are on par.
Oh, definitely. No, I just meant up until that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, right now, this is the current strongest point. So this is Super Saiyan, God, Blue Vegeta. He absolutely will not let himself fall behind Goku again. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
That pride is a hell of a crush.
And it took him how many sagas just to catch Goku?
Right.
So that is why Vegeta's number 4 and number 3 is Goku. I mean, he's the standard bearer for the Saiyan race.
And Goku is always finding a way. I mean, it's not even about trying to be the strongest all the time. It's about that this guy's stronger than me. He's threatening my friends and family. I need to do something about it.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Goku gives probably the least fucks of anyone on the list. I mean, he doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care if you're the size of a planet or the size of a butterfly.
If you say you're stronger than he is.
Yeah.
or if he can feel that you're stronger than he is, he's gonna fight you.
He's going to. He will take you on.
This is a little bit of a spoiler for Dragon Ball Super. You know what? I'm not even gonna tell them spoiler. Like I already told you. I'm not even gonna say it.
Fair enough.
Goku does he doesn't ascend past Vegeta. He does not pass him in another form, but he finds a way to increase his power again in Super Saiyan Blue.
I think she's okay.
Okay. I didn't hear screaming.
Yeah. I don't hear any screams.
Again, we're recording this at my house. My daughter's upstairs, so we hear things. And
Geek dads.
Goku finds a way to increase his power level in Super Saiyan Blue to make him stronger than Vegeta. And it's not because he's fighting Vegeta, it's because he's fighting somebody else, and I cannot wait for you guys to see that. But it's so cool, and it's Goku. Like, it's back to where you're like, Goku is a beast. He's stronger than everybody again.
By the time we actually post this podcast, I will have probably caught up on all of it.
Yeah. There's a bunch of ways to watch Dragon Ball Super online right now. I'm not going to mention them in case we eventually do get sponsorship for the show. But I mean, it's coming. It's coming. It's been hinted at. A lot of the voice actors are saying, hey, it's on its way. So we're getting the dub of Dragon Ball Super soon in the States. We don't know when, but it is coming, so I cannot wait for you guys to see it. That said, you did notice Goku is number 3 on the list.
Number 3, not number 1. So nobody can accuse us of fanboying, because
he's number 3. Like, we definitely did this the right way.
If you think back to the beginning, when we first started this, we said every list we looked up had one common factor. Every single one had the top 2 exactly the same. And at number 2, the Lord of Destruction, the Anubis-looking Lord Beerus.
I mean, like,
he's the God of Destruction. What are you
Goku hasn't beat him.
No, he hasn't.
Vegeta can't beat him.
Vegeta danced for this.
Vegeta threw away his pride for this character.
He did the 2-step. He ballerinaed on his toes. Bulma, of all people, questioned Vegeta's behavior. I mean, Lord Beerus came to Earth, and Vegeta, I think Vegeta was the only one who even recognized who he was.
Oh, Vegeta was the only one who knew who he was.
He was the only one. Everybody else is like, who the hell is this guy? And Vegeta's serving him tea.
Right.
You know,
dancing for him, apologizing for everybody.
Vegeta apologized. Vegeta said the words, "I apologize, people."
Yeah.
That is never in the history of DBZ.
Never once has Vegeta apologized to anybody.
Not
he
once.
Apologizes to this character. Now, mind you, at one point in time, Vegeta did push himself to stronger than Super Saiyan 3, and that was because, and this is another thing about Vegeta's pride, but this is because Beerus smacks Bulma.
Smacked the shit out of her.
And Vegeta literally says, "My Bulma!" Powers up and like wails on Beerus. He doesn't win. He does not win.
No.
But he pushes him back. He's able to knock him back. And that was he was more powerful than Goku at that point. So that shows you how their powers work.
Well, I mean, if I had a wife, you know, and got smacked.
It's the God of Destruction smack genie right now. Like, I'm powering up Super Saiyan 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. My balls will get bigger than my head.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that.
I'm going all out.
We're scrapping.
Right. Like,
you're probably gonna kill me, but
you might take me out, but you done made a mistake for now, son.
Yeah.
Like my mom said. My mom always used to say this to me growing up. She's like, if you get in a fight with somebody that's bigger and badder than you, they might get a meal off of you, but you're gonna get a sandwich off of them before you're done.
I'm getting some of that neck hair.
Right. Right. Going full bore. The only character above Beerus on this list.
Yeah, who's stronger than the God of Destruction?
A lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people don't get it because you're not paying attention, folks. You're not watching.
Again, when we're going through this list, we're not just taking into account people that we see in active combat. Going back to Kibito Kai, we never actually see them, whatever you want to think of them, fight another villain. We don't see it. We're
basing it on the combination of their 2 power sets.
The combination of who they're training, how they're training, all of that. I mean, subcontext, guys.
Right.
So,
I mean, technically, if you want to get picky about it, we get to see them fight in the video games.
Yeah.
Still not canon, but
Right.
you get to see him play.
So at number 1,
we have Lord Beerus's manservant.
Whis, who at first I wasn't entirely sure was a man. It was subjective for me for a little bit.
And then watching it, you're not even sure that Beerus is the actual god of destruction when you first start paying attention. If you really pay attention, it seems like Whis is the one that's in charge. He's not. Beerus is in charge, but Whis is keeping him in check.
There's one point where Beerus gets knocked for a loop. He's bouncing between, he ate
wasabi.
Yeah, he's bouncing between. We didn't even talk about his love for food and whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he's bouncing between these, crater like meteor rock things. You guys know the bouncy shit that happens.
Yeah, he's bouncing around like a pinball.
His manservant palms him in one hand, full tilt. I mean, Beerus is bouncing full speed. What the hell? One hand, doesn't strain, doesn't oof, doesn't break a sweat, just palms him and
says that's enough of that.
Yeah, he's like, you good? Sit down.
And then he hits him in the stomach.
And then, so, I mean, and this is, again, the quote-unquote god of destruction that gets an apology out of Vegeta. He's palmed.
This character is that much stronger than him. And Beerus eventually explains that Whis is his teacher. He's not only a servant, but he's his teacher.
If you think about it, it's probably the same relationship. You got your Sephiroth, you got your Emerald weapon. A lot of you should get that reference. If you don't,
you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
Probably not. I mean, so.
There's I would love to see Whis fight. I mean, we got a little bit of it in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Mm-hmm. You could download Beerus and Whis, and they fight. But I'd love to see him fight in the show. This is a slight spoiler for Dragon Ball Super. Goku and Vegeta do get to train with Whis, and it's awesome. It's awesome. This is Goku and Vegeta at the same time training with this guy, and they cannot push him back. They don't gain any ground unless he wants them to. That should tell you something. The two strongest characters, other than the God of Destruction, that we put on this list, are training with this cat, and he is just playing with them. Just toying with them.
The way they toyed with Frieza in Resurrection F, for those of you who watched it.
Right.
I'm sorry, we didn't touch on this, and I kind of have to. We talked about how strong Frieza could and should be in his gold form, but if you watch Resurrection F, Goku and Vegeta are really just playing with him. Oh, yeah. It's a great watch.
Goku really is. You actually see it with Goku. Goku is holding back a lot. Even the sound effects deliver that. Because when Vegeta steps in the fight, you can hear the difference in their punches. Vegeta is hitting Frieza much harder. This is also probably 20, 30 years of hatred for Vegeta at this point.
Oh, definitely. He never got his pound of flesh out of Frieza.
Not at all.
Never did.
Until this.
Goku took that from him.
Yeah.
And then he spent all that time in Otherworld.
I mean, because Vegeta really just steps up and was like, "Why are you still playing around with him?"
It was to a point where Vegeta was literally, he looked at Goku and asked, "Is it my turn yet?"
Right.
And Goku says, "Hang on."
They actually fight in the middle of the fight. In the middle of Frieza and Goku's fight, Vegeta flies in and starts fighting Goku. And it's like, what is wrong with you? You're not fighting him seriously. We don't have time for this. Fight him seriously. He hurt our friends and family. He destroyed our entire planet. Why are you playing with this guy? And Goku's like, all right, fine. And Goku fights him. Goku loses because Frieza cheated, but Vegeta steps in and does not play around at all.
Absolutely. The difference between Resurrection F and any other movie, saga, or any DB, anything you've watched, is it's not a story of how are we going to defeat the big bad. It really isn't.
No.
It's a story of this is how powerful we've gotten, and you can fuck off.
Right.
It really is. Don't get me wrong. Frieza's power is highlighted.
Right.
He's no joke. But at the same time, the Saiyans have just gotten to a point where they're not to be messed with.
No.
At all. That's Resurrection F.
Vegeta and Goku are just like, do you want it? Are you sure you want it? Because, I'm going to give it to you if you want it.
They served him. They served him good.
And again, once Vegeta started fighting, the sound effects even changed. The hits were harder. The fight was shorter because Vegeta was not fucking around.
No, it was not.
Goku was. Goku was making a game of it, but it's Goku. He knew he was stronger than him.
Yeah.
But then he let himself get cocky. Thus, anybody that watched it knows what happened after that.
Just had to throw that note in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. We're at the end of the list.
Yeah.
Vegeta was a beast in that. Like, it was good to see Vegeta get to shine. He got his moment snatched away from him again. He got his moment snatched away from him, but Vegeta got to shine. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'd still say he took the cake in that one.
Yeah, and like Beerus and Whis, like we haven't seen them unbridled yet. We haven't seen their full form, their full power. I'm anticipating that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. I mean, Beerus, like he scares everybody. He scares everybody. He always threatens to blow up the planet, and they kiss his ass after that. Like, we're sorry, we won't do it again. I'm sorry.
That's another great note, except for Whis. He's the only one that just.
Whis just like, you're not going to do it.
And actually, Whis questions his decision. If you sure you don't want to blow up the Earth?
All right.
Are you sure? You can do that. And
I'm not going to stop you.
Beerus is all, no, I like the food.
Right.
If they keep feeding me, I will let them. Beerus, he turns into a fat ass when he comes to Earth. He's eating ice cream. He's eating ramen. Beerus turns into, pretty much Goku. He rivals Goku's appetite.
Actually, he probably eats more than Goku.
Yeah, I mean,
the way they get, yet again, a little bit of. Actually, no, in Resurrection F, the way Bulma gets Beerus and Whis' attention is with a bowl of ice cream. Because like Whis wants it too. Whis eats too.
I was gonna say
Whis is all about the sweet stuff.
That's the one point we even see him get emotional is when he had that. He was like, oh shit, this is the tits.
Right, this is awesome. Oh my god, ice cream? This is what you call this? I want more of it. I mean, and let's not forget that in Battle of Gods, the whole big bullshit fight started because Majin Buu ate all of the pudding.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Was it Buu that ate all the pudding? Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Who ate the last pudding? Beerus didn't get any.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I'm sitting here, we're talking about it. I'm like, why were they even fighting? I don't even remember. Beerus wakes up to come destroy Earth. Interesting factoid for those of you, again, who haven't watched either of these movies. When Beerus first wakes up, he's checking in with Whis with, what's been going on in time. He's been asleep for thousands and thousands of years. He gets up and he goes, whatever happened to Frieza? You kind of find out that at one point Frieza was working under Beerus's...
the God of Destruction.
Yeah,
the God of Destruction.
And so that was cool. They tied in a lot of the arcs.
And the Saiyans still don't know that.
Yeah, they don't really need to, but...
I know. You know what? That might tie up Dragon Ball Super. That might be what we get to see. Like the final battle is like Vegeta and Goku versus Beerus, and they've surpassed him finally. And they find out that he's the reason that the planet Vegeta actually met its end. Spoiler.
Yeah. Who doesn't know that?
But
it just begs the question. This whole top 20 list. I mean, the top 5 are locked. They're absolutely.
I mean, anything from 6 down is pretty much interchangeable.
Yeah.
But there's we stated reasons for why everybody is where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm sticking to my guns. That's.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. I mean, we looked it over there were a couple times we thought the list was finished, and we just went, are we sure we're okay with this person being here and this person? Like, we
I mean, at first we had just Android 17 on the list. We didn't have 18.
Yeah, I mean, we came down and we had 18 out of the top 20. We thought for a little bit, should we make it a top 18? And who has a top 18 anything?
Right.
It's a little weird. We're like, no, we can figure this out.
We couldn't figure out the last two. And
we're intelligent individuals. I mean, really, the only question left at this point is how much more powerful are these top 5? Well, 3 of the 5 are they going to get?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's obvious if you're a fan, they're just going to keep getting more powerful and more powerful and more powerful. Who are they going to bring in? At this point, we literally have gods.
It's got to keep going. It absolutely has to keep going, and I mean that's what keeps the show interesting.
Right. I would not mind seeing some of the the top 10 to 5, top 10 to 6, jump up there maybe with their own some more spin-off movies or something.
What I really like, cool. And what you guys will appreciate about Dragon Ball Super is this goes back to Dragon Ball to where we see less blur, like less lines flashing around on the screen, and more actual fighting, much like they did in Resurrection F.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was less of the flashy, we can't actually see what's going on in the animation because they're moving so fast, and more of the holy crap, they're hitting each other and they're hitting each other really hard. And I mean, it's cool to actually see the two characters fight and interact and not have to worry about them not fighting or like, oh, I don't get to see it and it's going to take 2 weeks for this episode to pan out. No, these fights are done in like 2 or 3 episodes now, but they're shown too, and I love that. I love that a lot.
It feels like we've been talking a lot longer than we have been. We're coming up on about 18 minutes right now.
That's it?
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
And unless I'm reading this wrong, which I don't think I am, because I feel like I'm pretty fluent in time code, we just barely broke 18 minutes.
Wow.
I know. Feels like we've been talking for like an hour.
Wow.
Luckily, we already had the list compiled, and you didn't have to listen to us debate the whole thing as we were making.
Oh man, that would have been a 3-day long podcast.
Yeah. I mean, that's a drive to work and back a couple times.
Right.
Listening. So yeah, that's our top 20.
To recap, number 20 was Tien Shinhan. Number 9 was Master Muten Roshi. Number 18 was Krillin. 17 is Sun Goten. Number 16 is Captain Ginyu. Number 15 is a tie between Android 17 and 18. Number 14 is Piccolo. Number 13 is Fat Majin Buu. Number 12 is Super Perfect Cell. Number 11 is Pikkon. Number 10 is Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Number 9 is Future Trunks. Number 8 is Kabito Kai. Number 7 is Frieza, Golden Frieza more specifically. Number 6 is Ultimate Gohan. Number 5 is Kid Majin Buu. Number 4 is Vegeta, going up to Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Number 3 is Goku, going up to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Number 2 is Beerus, the God of Destruction. And number 1 is Whis, the hand servant / teacher to the God of Destruction, who is apparently more powerful than said God of Destruction.
We don't get it, but it's a thing.
I mean, you know what? It's coming. We want to see what's going on with this. I'm intrigued to know why he's more powerful. I'm really hoping we get more backstory. I mean, even if it's in the form of like a side spin-off movie or like a video game extra chapter or whatever.
I'll take a comic. I don't know.
Manga, like it'd be great. These characters, the reason we all love Dragon Ball Z is the way we do is these characters have depth. They're interesting.
Come to think of it, he's the only character on this list without an expansive backstory. He's the only one.
We don't know a lot about Kabito by himself.
No, but
he was the hand servant to the Kai.
Right, we've got more than we have with Whis, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
easily.
he's got a lot more dialogue, easily. You get a lot more of his personality.
Yeah.
I mean, Kabito's a hard ass for whatever reason.
Like he shows up and he's just that guy that's like stone faced and
takes no prisoners.
You're gonna fight me and you're gonna power up the Super Saiyan to fight me.
Yeah, like you're gonna do this. Don't ask questions. If you ask questions, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth until you stop asking questions.
Right.
I mean, Whis is just kind of he's a mystery. That's really it. He's a mystery.
Right. That likes ice cream and cake.
And
sushi.
Yeah, one hand palms, the God of Destruction.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't he eating at the time too? Was he eating at the time?
I don't think so. No.
No. Well, I mean, like
if he was, then it was an animation bloop.
Yeah.
Because I remember specifically when he caught him, there was nothing in his hands.
Oh yeah, because it was when Beerus ate the wasabi himself and then went off. I mean, like guys, this show. I know a lot of people don't like it, and I know a lot of people complain about mainstream anime and everything. That's a whole other conversation for later.
I could give you some other ones if
you. I mean, there's.
Yeah. Just watch one about some female singer wrestlers.
Right. And Dragon Ball Z is corny. I just want y'all to know.
Yeah.
There's a reason to watch the show that Cajun was talking about, and it ain't for the story. But I mean, Dragon Ball is corny. Dragon Ball is cornball. But like, the story of Goku is the story of every superhero that we've ever heard of before. It's that guy that's the everyman. Like, he's relatable, other than the fact that he's an alien. Like Goku is the Japan's answer to our Superman.
And I don't care what you say, he can still beat up on Superman.
But yeah,
I'm just
that's yet again another conversation for another day.
Another day.
We will do. I promise you, at some point in time, we will talk about that. But there's going to need to be more than 2 of us to talk about.
We're
that.
talking to you, Frank. You know who you are.
You better listen to this show. Oh.
He's going to kill us when he hears that.
He's going to hurt us so bad. This show won't be aired for another year or anything.
Yeah.
This isn't even episode 1. This is like episode 2 or 3 of the show. So.
All right. Yeah. So I think that's all we got.
That's it, guys. I mean, like, this went a lot shorter than I realized it would, but we had fun. I mean, putting this list together was great. I mean, just looking at the Cage and I started this last night. because we reread that top 12 from the website that shall remain nameless.
We were horrified.
And we couldn't believe it. Like, we went to the movies last night. We had a good time. And then Cajun's like, oh, my God. And I said, what? He's like, top 12 most powerful Dragon Ball Z characters. I was like, all right, bet. Read it to me. He starts reading it, and we're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, who puts Vegeta at number 11?
Yeah, even if you have any list longer than top 5 at all in this show, you can't have Vegeta dead last.
No, Vegeta.
There's no way.
No.
We don't know what these people were thinking when they made their list. Again, we're not naming names. It's a popular blog. We'll tell you that. It is a popular blog.
A lot of you may have read the list.
Possibly.
We may have posted a link on our page.
We keep saying we're done, and we just keep going.
I mean, that's the point of the podcast, though. That's the reason we're doing this.
Fair enough.
I mean, seriously, though, guys. Like, I mean, if you don't believe us, if you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z since you've been an adult, try it. Go back again. It's going to be some drudging to get through. Actually, no, the Saiyan Saga was easy to get through.
Yeah, the Saiyan Saga was pretty easy. Raditz did not make the list.
No, not at all.
Raditz did.
He's a chicken weakling.
Oh, man.
The Frieza Saga is easy to watch as an adult, too. It's a little long. A little drawn out for no damn reason.
You know, we should do that sometime. We do a list of just strongest Saiyans, not including the Z fighters.
Oh, just the strongest overall Saiyans?
Yeah, I mean, there's enough of them there. Yeah, especially now we can bring in the Bardock movie. We can talk about Raditz and Nappa.
Broly and Paragus.
Broly's obviously going to top the list. But I mean, you know, yeah, non-Z fighter Saiyans.
King Vegeta.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that list
Goku's
sometime.
mother is canon now, but we've never seen her fight.
Right? No, we do that list. Not now.
Oh,
We're
no.
not going to do that now.
That'll be another episode.
Yeah, we're gonna.
That'll be another episode of the Dark Side.
Might be fun to do.
Something to look at. That's going to be a lot. For those of you that actually listen to the show, I want to tell you something. Yes, we're doing this for free. So, like, I mean, if you disagree with us, that's fine. We're okay with that. We're up for healthy debate. Here's the thing, though. Because we are doing this for free and we're doing our own research on this and everything, you don't get to tell us we're stupid.
We're not stupid.
I mean, we're doing this for free. We're having fun with it. We want everybody to have fun. Like, if you disagree with us, that's the entire point of being a geek, isn't it? I mean, isn't that why we do this? So we can have those conversations.
You can't have my lunch money.
But I want to be able to have that debate with you. Like, me and Cajun don't agree on everything, but we're still friends.
We agree on white women.
Yeah.
White women in DBZ.
Yeah,
right. I'll throw a sound effect in there.
But we definitely, like, I mean, there's characters in Dragon Ball Z that I'll like that Cajun doesn't like. There's characters that he likes that I don't like. We both agree that Piccolo and Pikkon definitely needed to be on this list.
Absolutely, positively. I can't believe how many lists left Pikkon out. Not even mentioned.
People sleep on him or forget about him because he was such a big character because they haven't explored him again.
But he was a badass.
They need to bring him back.
They do.
It'd be great to see them get to, like, gather the Dragon Balls and say, hey, we need a fighter to help us with this. And Goku go, I got just the guy. Yes, he's been dead for 100 years. Please bring him back. You know?
And just like you said, we don't know what he did to save his universe.
Right.
His planet.
Right.
We don't know why he got to keep his body in Otherworld.
Right.
That'd be a great story to
that's
tell.
That's a big deal.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the things that some of you might not realize is, like, when you're in heaven, or Otherworld as they call it in most translations, or you're in hell, if you still have your body, it's because you were allowed to keep your body by God. King Yama let you keep your body because you did something that he appreciated, that he liked. You saved hundreds of thousands of people. You defended a planet. You stopped an asteroid from crushing a planet. You stopped an alien invasion or something. And he thought that was good. Right, I mean, curing cancer. Like, I mean, honestly, like, if you cure cancer and like heaven was like the way it is in Dragon Ball Z, Yama would let you keep your body. Like, you might not be as strong as everybody else, but like you'd be up there like in a lab coat. Like, you get to run on Snake Way. It takes you 47 years because you're not superhuman. Still recording, sweetheart.
She's
on
adorable.
That note, guys,
I
think it's time to end this episode. Signing off on behalf of Geek Talk, the Dark Side and the White Side. I am David Jackson.
Agent Prime.
And this has been Geek Talk. We hope you guys loved it. If you have any questions, feel free to write us individually on our Facebook pages, or I will make a page for this at some point after we start posting the episodes. Good night, everybody.
Deuces. Goku still beats Superman.